Any questions so far?
This is kind of more general than about like this specifically, but so a company would buy, they just get access to this, and then do they get like, I don't know if this makes sense. Do they get like unlimited access to as many people as they have in the company can log on?
Correct. So we don't sell it by seat. Sometimes certain software things are sold by license or seats or number of users. What we do is we go to a company, and say we were talking to Tony's thing right here, okay? We'd probably come to Tony and be like, Tony, you're probably going to be at $97 a month. We'll give you all of these Adilas tools. You can get in here, knock yourself out, throw it out to e-commerce, do all this kind of stuff like this. And then he's just happy and playing. If he grows, say all of a sudden he has 5 locations or something like that. Like, okay, Tony, we need to talk. Like, we need to get something per location versus like per user or whatever. He might have 10 employees here, 10 employees here. Like, we would kind of determine that, but as he grows, it might need to flex up or down.
So it's not a set price that you offer everybody, but
it's not. It's kind of based on the business. The lowest end is $17 a month. Say you have a mom and pop, or even like a person like a student or something, you know, they're selling vitamins or, you know, whatever, or just want to track their schedule and their schoolwork and stuff. $17 a month, they're just off and running. You might have other ones that say they do have 5 or 6 locations or whatever. You might be like, you know what, you're actually $57 per location or whatever, depending on the size of it. Or it might be like, you're $250 per location because you got some serious stuff. It kind of comes back to how much data are we tracking and how much usage bandwidth is basically what we're selling. The service is unlimited.
So those are where your costs come in, this with bandwidth and like, because you have.
I would say number of users, how many transactions you're doing, and then also kind of how many locations. Those are the kind of the things that we take into consideration, and then we kind of figure out where the best mix of those pieces would be. And we basically, to start off with, we don't totally know what your habits are going to be. We don't know if you are more of a person who's like, hey, I'm going to document everything. I'm going to be scanning tons of stuff. I'm going to be putting photos on all of my items. I'm going to be running e-commerce and this and this and this. Like, we don't know what your habits are until you actually start using it. So usually what we do is we kind of take a ballpark price, kind of throw it at you, and then we start from there. So where Adilas as a company wins is over time, and then also as you keep growing, you end up telling your friends and neighbors, and we grow because it's kind of a small cost. If you were to go to somebody like SAP or Oracle or something like this and try to get a similar type implementation, minimum you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, even just to talk to them. We could come in and say, hey, cool, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever. Do you want to pay for setup and training? Do you want to do it on your own? Do you want to come to a free training class? Like, all of a sudden, they're off and running for, say, under $500 or whatever, and then they're just bam, bam, bam. Where we gain is, if they use us for years and years and years, we end up getting thousands and thousands of dollars out of the deal. So that's kind of how some people are like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want that because, like, sure, it's really cheap and I can afford it right now, but how long am I going to have to pay for it? Well, what we do is we just keep running it out like that, and eventually it creates its own value. You have years worth of data, and you have all of this stuff all tied together. This is your world, and then if you want access to your data, no problem. Export to Excel, do this, grab your PDFs, save this. You know, we give you full access to your data. It's your data. We just kind of help store it, archive it, kind of help it be organized and stuff. So that's kind of our job. Great questions, great questions. Shannon, are there any questions from online?
There's nothing.
Okay. No problem. So one of the things that I think that we would like to do that we have not done yet is, Shannon, I'm actually going to have you kind of come back up here if you're okay. We did hardware and blade devices and helmets and stuff like this. Guess what we have not done? Services stuff. So before we even go into this, what do you guys see as the difference between a physical item that we're tracking and all of a sudden something that we're saying is unlimited or we're going to use multi? Like, what's the difference?
Inventory, bring it in.
Okay, so when we bring this in, it's going to come in as a 0 received quantity, correct? And then we're going to make a single little flip that basically says, do we track it, or is it a service or a labor like unlimited? We'll make that teeny little switch. We add it just like normal. Shannon, can I have you do it again?
Now, with this,
Yes,
though,
yes.
like memberships will be unlimited, but for example, a guided tour has a limit of, say, 30. Would you still use an inventory for that?
Okay, it depends on if you wanted to actually sell that out as a specific trip. So say, for instance, like this, Moab trip 2013 February, or whatever it was. And then you said, hey, I have a quantity of 10 of these things. And then you can physically track how many you have it going down. It kind of depends on what you're trying to do. Do you want to sell it like an inventory? Or would you rather just say, hey, I'm going to sell the same guided trip 50 million times, and I'm going to attach it to a thing called an element of time, which is a calendaring event, and all of a sudden I can see how many of those slots have been taken up. It kind of depends on how you want to play the game, if that makes sense. Right?
Okay.
So that's how I probably would not go, hey, I've got this new trip, and it's got 10 slots and stuff like this, and kind of track it that way. I would probably track it actually creating the physical guided trip in the scheduling area. And then as I invoice things, just making sure that things get back tagged so that it's correctly incrementing who's on that trip. That's how I would probably do it, if that makes sense. Shannon, can you add us some services?
Definitely.
Hey, awesome. And thank you guys for letting me not be up there talking the whole time. It's helping me to kind of pull back just a little bit.
And gratefully, we just did this. There's not really anything different about this, except, like you said, just those couple themes that we are going to switch it so that we don't have a quantity in. This is going to be Tony's climate show.
So Tony, we're expecting big things here, bud. I'll sign up for your Moab trip and for your St. George trip.
Basic Live. Services. Ship. Yes.
We're still going to take it and say that they are in our possession just to kind of advance that to the next stage. Otherwise, what it does is PO technically can be, is it kind of like an order, or is it real, or like kind of like, those are like the stats of where the PO is. Okay? We're going to take it.
Right, because since we do have them, then we can sell them. So we wanted to do memberships. So we're going to leave that as a 0 quantity because right here is where we're going to switch that. Don't monitor the quantities, unlimited inventory. And that's going to be our big switch right there, membership. So we actually have membership. And what are we selling our memberships for?
So cost is
It's
zero.
0 for us, but
40.
40, nice. That sounds like good.
That's what the Rock House membership is.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
Nice. Oh,
Now, and how would you handle something, for example, the Rock House, when you start a membership, there's a startup fee.
That's another item, okay?
Uh-huh.
Basically, Shannon,
I'm popping it.
We'll pop
Yeah.
in that one. Why don't you do the startup fee? How much is the startup fee, Tony? Just curious.
I think it's another, you can do 50.
Okay.
I think it may be another 40. I can't remember exactly.
So one thing, as soon as you start saying things in combination, immediately my mind started going to a thing that we call recipe and builds, okay? So currently we just have single items, but anything that you start wanting to kind of like group together or something like that, we create this little thing called a recipe. It's virtually a group or a kit. And then all of a sudden, if you sell one of these recipes, I'll add multiple items into that thing at the same time. Just I can budget system tag team a little bit.
Can you set up like recurring?
Absolutely. Good question. I love it. Keep going with that. Keep going with that. What's your question? And let's show you how we can do it.
So, for example, for this membership, you have the startup fee, that's the one-time cost, and then you have the membership, which is a monthly pay, this $40 every month.
Correct.
And so we have to charge that to you every month.
Correct. Okay. So the answer is yes. You totally can do that.
So we're going to add our to be a climbing ship of these things. So these would probably change, but I guess
So if it's going to change, you need to potentially put it in as a zero sale price, and you have to fix it.
and just
So I would
adjust
just
it.
put it under as zero right now, because it might change. It might be, and depending on how many different trips you did, you can technically create different ones if you need to. But I put it in zero right now.
Yeah. Okay. So we have got those in there now, and we're happy. It didn't cost us anything. We just set it up. So, what did you want us to do next?
Guess what? We just had a question. Hey, can I buy some of this stuff? Can I put it on
Put in
reoccurring?
combinations,
Right.
reoccurring. Where do you like to get?
So first thing I'd like to do is go back to the map and just review what we've done, because we put in four different POs, okay? Okay, so click on purchase order. We had Black Diamond, Pencil, and 510, and then one that had Tony's Climbing Shop for zero, but it was all services that we were going to add, okay? So we incremented our inventory. We also told it, hey, we potentially owe these other guys Black Diamond and Pencil and all this kind of stuff, okay? That's awesome. Let's go back to the map one more time. So we've just been playing on this portion right here. So Shannon, if you can kind of touch on vendor, PO, and general inventory pool. Boom, 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 that little path right there, okay? That's all we've been playing with. And because we haven't paid it, it automatically cascaded some of that stuff up to accounts payable, and inventories, and stuff like that, okay? So as soon as you want to start selling it, what do you think happens? Coming in from the other side, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool. Well, let's start doing some sales. Just so you guys know, we're going to put each of you guys back up there to the computer if you're okay with it, just so that we can have you kind of walk through it. But let's challenge Shannon. Okay, Tony, you're coming in. Tell her what you would like, okay?
So I'd like a recipe build.
Okay, we want to do a recipe build. We'll want to set that up so then we can have it for you. But we can definitely do that.
Perfect, yeah, go for it.
Let's go into our recipe builds. So as you see, they've already got some build preps, but we're going to create a new recipe, and we're going to call it
A climbing membership.
and type build and sell.
Right.
That's what we want. Yield caption 1. Yeah, that'll be 4.
You will have to put something past the end of that caption. Just go ahead and put it one membership. That's just for your
I see.
information.
Yeah.
So, hey, is this one bottle, one box, one?
Right.
Who knows
Okay.
what it is? You just have to kind of put it.
So
This is your basic startup pack for a membership. Tony's Gym. You will be so strong.
you will rock. Okay, so I'm going to add the recipe. And to this recipe, we are going to add our membership
So you probably want to start fee as well.
and our startup fee. So add that to the recipe. And we want one startup fee. And we're using our current price. Okay, I don't think I need to
So this is
do.
prep work you would do
Let's leave
before
that
somebody
open.
actually came to buy your memberships. This is
Yeah.
the prep work. Okay.
So we're going to leave that open so we can change it if we want to. Line description, that's fine. I have that line description.
This is labor. Or
Labor.
miscellaneous.
Yeah, it's probably miscellaneous. And
That's not even
we're
required.
good. We're going to add it. So this is on our recipe. We're going to add a new line item to our ingredients. And this is going to be our other. Okay, assign this to the recipe. We want
one.
Quantity of one, because we're going to do a recurring invoice for this, right? So
Well,
we're
eventually,
going to
yeah.
do monthly.
Basically, what we want to do is we want
Do
to
a
pull
monthly
both
bill.
of these pieces at one time.
Right. So, perfect. We're good. This is going to be miscellaneous as well. Okay, so,
So that was prep work.
That is
That
it.
wouldn't be done while somebody's sitting right in front of you.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you came in and you wanted to get a membership, I would come right in. And actually, conveniently, you bought something from us before, so I happen to know that I can put you in this right here. Tony is here.
The one with the cool picture.
To send you the card. Exactly. There you go. So, this one, nicely, they already set this up. You said you wanted a membership. I can go right to our recipe builds, and I can search and build prep. So it's already in my cart. So I'm ready to go. You have your membership and your monthly fee. So, do the bills. Your total is $65. So it just pulled them both in right there as a recipe. And if there was a startup, you could do that with, maybe you had a starting climbing package and you had all these items that you gave them when they started, they could find as a package. Or they could mix and match. Oh yeah, you get 5 quick draws with that. Oh, you want to adjust that? Or you could set up any kind of recipe you want, but like Brendan said, that pulled those in together, so now we're ready to check out at 65.
Well, hang on a second. You better see if you want anything else. Or
Yes,
what-
you should. Would you like any gear today? We have plenty to offer you. What did you find in your perusing around the store?
So one thing that you'll notice at the top, she was switching between recipes and items. Okay. If you're just doing normal items, you need to search in the correct spot. Otherwise, it doesn't know what you're doing or looking for. But let's pretend that he wants to get some harnesses. Why don't you just search harnesses in general?
Okay, so I didn't know what we had in there, but I can actually.
I'll just filter it down a little. Just put the harnesses and
Okay, there we go. Would you like black diamond pencil harness? Any of those?
remember you got to pay for this.
Black, yeah, black dye.
You want one of those?
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else?
You don't have any kilowatts, so no.
Okay.
Wait.
We'll be getting those in next month.
Wait.
Scroll down.
Do you want me to
Scroll
go back?
down, scroll down.
You have a
That's
start.
interesting. Okay, go hit the back button real quick.
Are you saying
So she clicked on either.
different
She
ad
clicked the
button?
different ad button.
What it does is it loops over that form and says check for anything that has a value. Okay. But good question. That's very observant there. Very observant. Love it.
I'm not going to add it again because I already added it, so that would add it twice. But
Why don't you add it again just for fun?
okay.
And it doesn't matter. It will
No.
literally loop over the thing.
Uh-huh.
And then scroll down and then
And I can just remove it.
You can either click the little box or you can change it to 0 and hit update card. It flips it out. So, okay.
So, one second. I had a question. I gotta remember what it was. The cart is not stored in the database. The cart is stored in the session.
The cart is session. That is virtual memory until you either save it as a quote, which is basically a way to prep things and or physically make it a quote.
Uh-huh.
You can then later restore it or physically check out and go to invoice.
And then it's
But as it's in the cart, literally she could go click and go check on POs and all this kind of stuff and come right back to her cart. Like, why don't you just go to POs just for fun? And just click on printable on one of those, doesn't even matter. Just she's browsing. Oh, cool. There's a link right here at the top. It'll take you right back to your session cart. It's
I
just
love
held
those.
in the session.
So you close your browser, you lose your cart, but otherwise you can continue
Up to
through.
2 hours unless you time out. That's
Okay.
a 2-hour cap. But basically for 2 hours it will kind of hold that those variables for you, kind of those values.
And
Okay.
even if I was somewhere else and I forgot, if I tried to log out right now, it says you have an open cart. So what do you want to do? Oh, yeah, that's right. Let's go back and use my cart.
It kind of prompts you like, whoa, you had
So
something that
it's
you were working
open.
on. So,
So, did you want anything else? All right, so we'll check out here. Okay, great. Thank you for choosing Toby's. Okay, check out. And how are you paying for this today?
Bill me.
Bill me. All right. Wow, that'd be nice to say. Put it on the tab. Thank you. Okay, so we have got final invoice here.
So do you have like where do you get like your tax rates and everything from?
Okay, you put them in, it's tied to a location. Correct me that for just a second. That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you tie taxes to locations? Location is the very bottom button.
Locations and tax settings.
Okay, click on headquarters for just a second. Scroll down. Okay, according to the location, depending on where it is, it will have state, city, location, county, or even potentially some flex ones. So we have up to like 5 different flex ones to add in there too. Some of them have all sorts of random stuff. Road and bridge tax, EMP tax, like whatever. We just allow you to add those in so that we have to be, we play dynamic games. Every game we play is dynamic. We don't hardly ever go, oh, we have to walk this line. Like, hey,
Well, especially with tax rates, you have to be, because like, I think they're trying to pass a bill, at least right now, that's like, if you're doing e-commerce,
Yep.
if you have to charge tax for whatever state the person is ordering, or wherever.
So that's
they're
going
ordering
to
things.
require some backwards lookups. So no problem. I can't even imagine if you were in the software solution, but no, you have to look at the new version. But if you're playing on cloud and that becomes a real law, we add another table, we add the code, it plugs in overnight, you have instant access to new backwards compatible tax lookup according to zip code, or whatever.
The hard part's the maintenance of that.
True. That
Tax rates for everywhere.
that is potentially a problem, but basically it would probably be tied to the zip code. That's how they would probably end up doing some of that stuff. So.
Oh man.
Awesome. That was a great question. So check this out. Why don't you just click on our accounts receivable for a second, and let's see what Tony owes us right now. Just make sure he's good to go.
30 plus whatever I just ordered.
Yeah.
He owes us $153.
Okay. So he's totally. We have $60 that we've already received from him on one of those invoices. Off to the side, I see a number 2 that says 2 of them are kind of currently in the outstanding value. So automatically it was rolled into his accounts receivable. Perfect.